Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jean-Pierre speaking. So today I wanted to talk about the ballet of Giselle. Of course, in the last centuries, Ballet of Giselle had a great success, and it's one of the greatest ballet of her repertoire. Of course, when you are, when I say you, means me also, as a teacher, you explain the story of Giselle to the students. It depends on of which grade you are teaching the ballet, the story of Giselle. You have to take care how you explain the story of Giselle, which words you use. So I will just mention that when I was teaching Giselle, story of Giselle, of course, not the ballet, the story of Giselle to my students when I was in Morocco, in Agadir, I had this experience which was quite beneficial. So I explained, my mother, who was also teaching with me, she told me that day she was busy because we were teaching in two studios. The ballet school had about 400 square meters, and there were two ballet studios. So my mother was busy with a group, and I was busy with another group. So it came the moment that we had to explain the Ballet of Giselle. So my mother told me, look, you are going to explain, to teach them the story and to explain, and not into great details, but you do the best thing you can. And in order that they learn something which is enriching for their knowledge. So I took all the students, there were about 20 students, and we all sat down and I showed some images of the books, and I said the story, you know, the first act, that Giselle, this poor girl, she fell in love with Albrecht, and Albrecht betrayed her with Duchess, and so I said the whole story. Then we passed on, I explained the second act, the Willies, who were the Willies, and I explained, I said everything that I could. So it was quite successful. And I said, you take notation on your copybook, and I got, we are going to see the videos in the next weeks, and you are going to see, to have an idea how you can learn some steps of the Ballet of Giselle, which is very technical also for conga ballet. The next day, my mother, of course, after the class, my mother comes to me and she said, how was the story of Giselle? How did the students react? I said, I think it was perfect, it was fine. I mean, I saw that there was a lot of enthusiasm in class and the children were taking notation. I mean, they were not so children, they were teenagers about between 12 and 12 and 14, 15. The next day, we were starting usually at around 3:30 for classes. We see all a group of parents who come and they say, we want to talk to the artistic director. The artistic director was my mother. So my mother said, yes. What is the problem? So all the parents went to the mother's office and they complained. And they said, your son has been frightening our students with a ghost story. Our children, they were frightened to death, and they couldn't sleep during the night. They were scared to see ghosts in their bedrooms. They were scared about everything. They couldn't sleep. So my mother said, okay, I don't know what my son told you. So let me call my son. So she called me, and I come in the office in front of the parents. And she tell me, look, this is the problem. What did you say? I said, well, I said the story of Giselle. Second act, the Willis who are in the forest, and blah, 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 and they come out with Mirta, Gulma, Moina, and Giselle, who come out from her grave. And well, I said, everything. Yes, but you talked about ghosts, and I said, well, yes, well, the Willis are like a ghost, but I personally haven't seen a ghost in tutu dancing, she said. So I asked to my mother, have you ever seen a ghost in tutu? So my mother, she was smiling, and she said, okay, so let me handle the situation. So we explained the whole story to the parents. We invited the whole parents, and we explained the story. And we also showed them the full Ballet of Giselle. But they were not very convinced about it. So finally, at the arena, there was an arena in Adelaide, and which was called the Théâtre de Verdure. It was about 2,000 seats, and the stage was very big, very wide. And one day, I was very surprised because they said there is a Bolshoi ballet company who is going to tour in Agadir. I said, okay, that's one of the best ballet companies. So I said to my students and also my mother, called all the parents. She said, please, when the Bolshoi will come to Agadir, please bring your children to see the ballet, because this is very important. It's one of the greatest ballet companies in the world. Of course, there are many others, but Bolshoi is Bolshoi, I mean, with all due respect. So we were all very happy, but we really didn't know what they were going to perform. So here comes the important day. My parents, my father, my mother, and myself, we go to the Théâtre de Verdure, we sit down, we see that there were all of our 150 students sitting with their parents. Hello from here, hello from there, bye-bye, and here the Bolshoi started the performance. And I was very pleased because the performance was the Ballet of Giselle. So, which of course had a tremendous success. But I was rejoicing because I was repaid of all this misunderstanding of the second act of the will. So finally, the result was that the parents came the next day after the Bolshoi touring and dancing on the Théâtre de Verdure. They all came and they apologized to me, to my mother, and they said, look, now that we have seen the Ballet of Giselle done by the Bolshoi, we realized that we were wrong. you were right. We understand now what you mean by ghost, and we understand the story of Giselle, which is a wonderful and beautiful ballet. So please accept our apologies. So you see, the parents realized that they were wrong, and they gave us the full trust to teach, to continue to teach to the students. So all depends how and what you say to the young dancer, how you explain the ballet, in which way. So let's now imagine, let's say, imagine that I'm going to explain to you, you don't know anything about it. And I'm going to explain to you who was Giselle, what she has. So I will start saying there was a village many centuries ago, probably in Austria or maybe in Germany. And there was a girl living with her mother. The girl, she was a little bit ill with her heart, but she fell in love with a young man. This young man, his name was Albert. And so she falls in love, and Albert, in a certain way, he didn't say anything, but he also was loving the Duchess, the court lady, which was a very rich personality of the village. I mean, I'm talking with very poor words. My English is not perfect. So, Giselle, she noticed that when the court lady come to visit the village, the mother, of course, she sees sort of Albrecht. Mother is so happy, so joyful to see that her daughter is in love with Albert. And then Duchess gives her necklace, and she would understand that she was in love with Albert. So Giselle, she feels betrayed, and she starts having, she becomes like a crazy woman. She loses her temper, but she is also suffering. So all of a sudden she sees that, imagine the comic way. She, what can she do? Imagine if instead of being Austrian or German, you would take, you would go, this would happen in south of Italy. That this was if it was in Italy. But in Germany, in Austria, of course, everything is more controlled. Now, Giselle, she loses her temper. She forget her hair. She opened all the beautiful hair she had. All the hair are down. She starts crying. She's suffering. And the mother, you see the poor mother who comes. Oh, my daughter, do you need a doctor by any chance? And Giselle looks to her mother. No, I can't make it anymore. And she starts. So you see that Giselle is doing all this machine, and you see all the friends of Giselle who are surrounded, and they look, oh, oh, poor, oh, poor Giselle. And so you see Giselle, she's crying, crying, crying. A little bit before overnight, she looks to her friends. Hmm? Are they crying also? Hmm. And she looks to her mother to the other corner of her eye. Oh, my mother is not doing anything. So she starts to take the long spade and she turns up to the stage. And then finally, oh, oh, and she falls down in the. And this is the end of Act One, and you have the mother who comes. Oh, did you faint? You needed doctor, my poor little child. Oh, oh, oh. And this is your curtains closed in this way, and of course, the Duchess is pissed off because she realized that Albrecht was also with Giselle, and Hilarion was very happy about about this story, and the curtains closed. Oh, so this is the end of Act One. Now here we go with end of the beginning of Act Two. You see all the willies in the white who come, and this Mirta is the queen. She is and you have Zulma and Moina, who are the sort of like Mirta secretary. They take notation, they say, the typewriter. They give all the comments and they say, okay, she has done that, she has done that, she has done that. You see Mirta. So, and you see all the wheelies of the diagonal. They go on stage, and then here comes Giselle that comes out from her grave, and with her hands like this, and she makes, like if she wants to say, here I am a poor soul, I've lost my love. And Mirta, she looks at her and says, you stupid idiot, you couldn't be more careful instead of coming here and fucking up our forest. So this is a little bit of story how Mirta presented Giselle. So you see Giselle, she started doing her Ada, and she lifts her leg, développe à la seconde, the leg who goes up to sitting. And then from à la seconde, she turns, she makes an arabesque penché. And she stays in arabesque penché, saying, where are my eyes lens? I've lost my eye lens. Can someone help me, please? I've lost my eye. And she stayed arabesque penché. Oh, here they are. And boing, boing, she puts them back and she continues to dance. Of course, Mirta is always a little plot between Giselle, the Willis, and Mirta, Zulma, Moina. And finally comes the moment where all the Willis they cross on stage in the arabesque sautant, which is the most beautiful part of the ballet, where they do and this is the crisscross of the arabesque sautante and then later back and and this is a beautiful. Now, in one of the diagonals, imagine if someone would go on stage next to one of the wheels and say, ah, here you are. I am waiting for you. So imagine what would happen on stage. You will see all the willies who go, and the diagonal is absolutely destroyed. So here, after a while, nearly at the end of the second act, after all this beautiful story and Mirta who, you have done that. And you see Albrecht, who suddenly comes out, pops out from the wings, and you say, but how did Albrecht came in? And what if he came in before Giselle died? Is there any guarantee that Albrecht wasn't going to fun with Giselle? So I always wonder this question. And here comes Albrecht. Where is my Giselle? Where is my Giselle? Where is my Giselle? Ah, here you are, Giselle. So Giselle couldn't say anything because Mirta told to Giselle, stay quiet. And Giselle, she always stayed quiet. She couldn't open her mouth. And so Albrecht is despaired because he wants to apologize to Giselle. And you see all the willies. There is all a crisscross of choreographic steps between Willies and Giselle and Mirta, and you know, it's like a football game. And then finally comes the real moment where, I don't know, probably many of you have seen where Albrecht is staying in the center of the stage, and here goes the moment where he does the 32 Entrechat 6. Toing, 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 for 32 times. And finally, he's exhausted, either because he's doing the after 32 Entrechat 6, he need a oxygen mask, and he's all purple. And then finally he falls in the floor. And you see Giselle, oh, finally here you are. And you are also dying. And so Mirta comes in again, and she said, you, Giselle, don't fuck up the situation. You just go back to the grave and don't talk. And you see that the ballet ends up in this way, that Giselle goes back to the curtain, Mirta and the Willis disappear, but the curtain closed. So, I mean, this is the comic way that I wanted to say the story. Of course, I'm not going to say all that to the students. But I'm telling you this just to make you understand how you must say the story of Giselle have 1,000 of words, 1,000 of words that you can use, and you have to take care how to explain things to the students. So I just wanted to talk to you all, and I have a big sense of humor, of course, but I like to make people also laugh, either students, either parents, and everyone, because today people need a sense of humor, need to laugh, And we need, after all we see in TV and all the sad things that are happening, we need to laugh sometimes, to be in a good mood. Okay, so all the best to you, and please have sweet things about Giselle.